This is KUGAN CASSIUS Rifle TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbar. We're at the Hilton Hotel here for a public workout ahead of the real life Rocky story. With me I've got David Price. How are you, David?
Sam, mate.
Yeah?
Short and sharp, yeah. Short and sharp interview.
Hammering them pads you were.
I was, yeah. Fucked after it.
Colwell's got to do all the work, getting
lifting
them arms up.
Yeah, little Dave. But it works, so it's fine.
Absolutely. You're in action, back in action. It's been a little bit long awaited, but we know that potentially there could be a big fight for you in the summer, but this was just to get you back into the mix of that, really, more than anything, against Gospic.
Well, no, it's not Gospic now. It's
changed again.
It's changed again. It's a different one. It's a Czechoslovakian fella. 9 wins, 2 losses, 8 knockouts. So it's a change again for me. I don't think they were happy with Gospic. I think they wanted someone better. So we fight this fella instead.
Has this just happened, like recently?
Yeah, about 2 hours ago.
Oh, forgive me then for not knowing this knowledge.
Yeah.
Regardless, obviously, it was just to put you instead ahead of potentially a bigger fight for you in the summer.
Yeah, but it like anything, any fighter who's coming off a loss and time out the ring, they're going to get back in to just get back under the lights type of thing. So it's not going to be anything major straight away. You've got to rebuild a little bit, and that's what the intention is. I don't know what the plan is for the summer because we haven't spoke about it yet. We'll get this out the way on Sunday and then we'll sit down and put something together, hopefully.
Obviously, I know when you spoke to James last time, obviously, and you've talked about the Tepper thing to death and what's happened.
Yeah.
But since then, obviously, Povetkin's failed a drugs test as well, which was meant to be for the fight over the weekend in Russia. So, is there a solution to this, David? Is it? Are we going to expect more like high-profile fighters to?
I think the only solution would be to make the punishment for the offence that bad that people would not be willing to do it anymore for fear of never being able to fight and earn a penny again.
It's banned from boxing straight.
That's the only way to deter it, I think, because it's too difficult trying to pin people's arm, especially if there's 2 fighters from 2 different countries. I mean, the boxing board of control are on top of things in the UK with the random testing before fights and the post-fight testing. But once the fight's done, the post-fight test, the damage is done. It needs to be in the build-up to the fight where fighters are getting the benefit of taking the drugs. So unless governing bodies or 2 different boards from, say, Germany and England put their heads together and say we need a strict programme where we can test fighters in the build-up to fights, the only option would have to be, and I think it's got to be the case anyway, where if you fail a drugs test as a fighter, you're banned for life and that's it. It's curtains. But there has been instances where it's been a drug in an over-the-counter supplement. So there's a bit of a grey area, if you know what I mean. But if it's an out-and-out steroid performance-enhancing drug and you know it's obvious, then it's got to be you're out and that's it.
Obviously, a lot of fighters that obviously do get say caught, but if in their opinion they're doing it without the intention of cheating, then where do you draw the line? Because not very few fighters, obviously, if any, come out and go, yeah, I did take that, and they'd actually admit to it.
No one's going to admit it, are they?
Yeah.
No one's going to admit it. And to say they had no intention of using something to benefit them, then it's a lie. You know, it's blatantly a lie. But it will be difficult. You know, someone could say they've been spiked, whatever. But that's why it's got to be randomly throughout before the fight, I think. You look at the Lucas Brown situation. I mean, that's a different situation, because if you look at the facts with him, nothing adds up to why he would have taken clenbuterol when he got to Russia and passed the test, and then a few days later failed the test. That just doesn't stack up. So in cases like that, then you would have to, you know, what's the word? You know, change it a little bit. But he's got facts to back that up. Where they haven't got the facts to back it up, then it's out. I think that's just the only option.
Like I said, Povetkin was the latest in a long list, and like I said, it's across all the weights. Vargas as well failed a drug test a little while ago. So I don't think it's a problem that's going to go away anytime soon.
But I think the WBC, I think they done the right thing, and I think they stood the ground by cancelling the Povetkin and Wilder fight, and I think Wilder's team done the right thing. I mean, I don't know whether they said we're not fighting him, because if it was me, it should be we're not fighting him. We still want paying. That's simple as that. That's how, and that's what they're doing. The WBC have done the right thing by saying fight's not happening, and it would have been easy for them to say, look, the fight's going to go ahead because we get our sanction fee. You know, it would have been easy for them to do that, but they've done the right thing in that situation.
Just want to go back to the weekend. Did you watch?
Hello, son.
I'm just going to wrap my hands. Superstar's coming back soon enough.
Come on, little man.
Hello, mate. Right, so.
How are you?
Okay, mate.
Good to see you. Okay, Dave.
It's the belly.
Love in there.
Want to go back to the weekend? Did you watch the action with David Haye and also Shannon Briggs? Did you see it?
Yeah, I didn't see Shannon Briggs, but I know the fella Shannon Briggs fought. I was supposed to fight live on Channel 5 about 18 months ago, and I tore my bicep in training, couldn't fight, and so I missed out on an easy few quid there that I'll never ever get to see again. But yeah, I didn't see that fight. David Haye's fight. We actually tried to get David Haye's opponent last year for myself, which at the time, and even now on paper, someone who was 27 or 28 and old for me at the time, I weren't an ex-world champion, I'm an ex-world champion now. It would have been doable, but someone wasn't happy with it, and it didn't happen. But so when I seen Haye had got him, I thought, well, if he's good enough for Haye, why weren't he fucking good enough for me? Do you know what I mean? So it was a foregone conclusion what was going to happen. Like, so yeah, it's just one of them, isn't it? It's what happens in boxing. People pick opponents and pick the right opponents. People moan about it. They still watch it. They still watch it, and then the fighter in question will end up in a big money fight. That's the business of boxing. It's risk reward. But
ultimately, obviously, there was a few people that were, well, more than a few people that were moaning really about who? Just walked over there to the left, I think. Moaning about, like I said, obviously David Haye had his comeback fight back in January, expected a sort of possibly a step up, more so in class, but and then he looks to be fighting Shannon Briggs later on in the year. So
it's like I say, David Haye doesn't give a fuck. You know, I know people are going to moan, but in a week's time they'll probably moan about someone else or something else, and the likelihood is they'll still go and watch him fight Shannon Briggs. So I know people are moaning about it and everything else, but it's just one of them things. It happens, and it's been happening for hundreds of years in boxing, and it's going to continue to happen in the future.
I'm quite curious to see what happens with him and Shannon Briggs.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like Briggs might be 40 odd or whatever he is, yeah, but he's in some nick physically, and obviously the last thing that heavyweight loses is the punch, and he's got that punch. I mean, someone was going to have to fight him eventually, and David Haye's just thought, you know, I'll fucking shut him up type of thing. But it'll be interesting, and people are going to watch it.
Regardless, people are going to watch it.
Of course they're going to watch it. 100%. Yeah, but it is what it is, right?
So obviously, Judgwood, you come through this week unscathed, and you'll be looking to fight possibly in the summer now, June?
June, maybe, yeah, maybe July. I'll have to, like I said, I'll have to sit down and we need to put a plan together, because while I'm happy at this stage to still be, you know, to fight on Bellew's undercard on Sunday, it's a massive event, and maybe a couple more, but looking forward is still still believe I'll be big enough in my own right to top bills here in Liverpool. So that, you know, we need to set a plan out moving forward for that.
And Dylan Whyte possibly going to fight David Allen, someone you were linked with. But that fight didn't really tick the boxes for you.
I don't know. Do you know what? I wasn't offered the fight. I was straight up offered the fight. I don't know, but look, I've got my own agenda, and Dylan Whyte knows me, know him, and he knows a rate, him as a fighter. I don't know Dave Allen, and I haven't seen enough of him to judge him. You know, he's a bit of an unknown quantity, but I have got my own agenda, and everyone knows what it is. I've got this beer in my bonnet about being cheated by drugs cheats, and I deserve to be put back where I was before I was cheated. And once that's sorted out, and I'm talking as soon as I'm active again, we'll see what happens, and then, you know, different opportunities may present themselves to me. So until that's sorted out, I'm dealing with that.
Okay. Well, listen, like I said, get Sunday out of the way first.
Get Sunday out the way. Not get it out the way. Do you know what? It's about, I want to enjoy Sunday.
No, absolutely. No, it's the wrong word for it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Sunday,
because you know, my last experience in a boxing ring wasn't very nice at all. But you know, I'm a fighter, and I get in the ring and fight. So it's an occupational hazard is to get in the ring and get knocked out. Fortunately, it happened to me, and I've just said to someone then before, you know, will I lose again in my career? Yeah, I probably will. It doesn't mean I'll have to fucking stop boxing. You know, I'm a fighter, and if I can take the ability into the ring, there's big nights ahead for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Obviously going to be rocking your Liverpool shirt as you walk out.
Yeah. there's been too much arguments over it, and I've got told a few lies by Tony Bellew about the rules on Sunday. I've just asked Eddie in, and he didn't know what he was talking about.
What did he say? He
said the club said I can't come out, so he'll never walk alone. To Eddie doesn't know what I'm talking about. But
why didn't you pull him as he just walked past there?
No, I'll get him. But the thing was, I was half thinking of changing me ring entrance music anyway. You'll never walk alone is an emotional song for me. I get a bit too emotional when I listen to it. So I was thinking of changing my music anyway. But I'll decide to come Sunday. But if I do, it's not because it's at Everton's ground. It's for my own reasons. You know.
Fair enough. All right, David, listen, thanks for giving us a little bit of your time.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
We'll catch up with you at the press conference on Thursday.
Thanks, you.
All right, cheers, David.